find whatever we're using for our foot rolling just on our mat and then just standing just behind it. Just take a moment to feel the feet. You might even lift up the toes, give a little spread. Maybe the arms choose to turn out so the palms face forward. You might even feel the hands want to come and touch body. Maybe on the belly, maybe one hand on heart, one hand on belly. Let's take a few breaths in the nose and out the mouth, just so we ground together. Ah. And so you might find the breath just releases out the mouth and there's a sigh. Ah. You might find that you do that a couple times. And then the other option is inhaling and just doing a pursed lip breath. So pursing the lips and then gently breathing it out through the pursed lip breath. Each time you exhale, there's an energetic connection that drops you from the crown of the skull all the way down through the body, into the legs, into the feet, and then from the feet into the earth. And you might find your knees softening a little bit if you tend to be one that locks your knees. Just check in with yourself, maybe a soft bend. Notice the weight evening out between all of your toes and both heels. So there's an evenness. You can feel all your toes pressing into the mat, but you can also feel your heels pushing the floor away. And then noticing the breath, as a lot of our breath is already done, has shifted in and out of the nose, but in no way do we want to get in the way of the breath releasing out the mouth, as long as it needs to do. Soften the shoulders and soften the shoulders again. Maybe the eyes are softly open and just letting the gaze relax, or you've closed the eyes, as long as your balance feels okay. Just meeting yourself here in the moment. I'm just going to take another half a minute here. Feel how each time you inhale, your body's expanding. But just notice, do you only expand through the front of the body, maybe belly, front of the chest, or can you feel the sides of the rib cage and maybe even your back body expanding on the inhale? So you become more three-dimensional in your natural form as you exhale, gathering in. Sometimes we do mindful awareness of lying down on our back or our belly or seated, but sometimes rarely, because when we're standing, we're a lot of the time in locomotion. But it's really nice just to pause and feel the presence of this foundational pose of mountain pose here. And in Sanskrit, it's called Tadasana, mountain and Tadasana. So you feel your inner strength, the stability, this foundation that you move from to meet the world. And as you take a few more breaths, if the eyes were closed, you can open them. If the hands were touching the body, you can release. Ah. So we're going to find one foot that you want to do your foot rolling with to start. And then notice the foot that you're going to plant first. So for me, I'm going to plant right foot. I'm going to foot roll on my left, but you choose. Okay. There's no kind of way that we need to do this, but we're pressing down. And then we feel a little bit of a lifting up. We feel the ribs gather and a dropping down. There's a little gathering in here. As you feel that pressing down, maybe a reaching up through the top of the head or the ears, maybe the arms go out to the side, and then you just let the leg lift. And sometimes it's a lift and a lower. Watch that we're not jutting the hips out to the side. So maybe you're thinking of two strings on the hip bones and pulling into center. and maintaining that as you lift the leg. But there's a pressing down to lift. Yeah, and some of you might pick. Good. Then you might do, I've been adding in a little bit of a rotation. So you might choose, oh, there's a rotation, and you might plant each time you do the rotation. So you can go in one direction a couple times, you can switch. And then you're going to roll your foot onto your ball or your dowel. So whatever you've chosen. So I want to also bring into play, we each have the two balls taped together, which is another option of foot rolling. So you can roll from toes to heel. Yeah, good. Yeah, it's good old foot rolling. We think of how much we use our feet every day. It's really important to roll. I can feel I did some hip strengthening yesterday, so I can feel my hip just kind of speaking to me a little bit on my other side. So I'm going to go ahead and switch feet, but and so you can go back and forth, back and forth. You don't have to stay on one foot the whole time. But if you do switch, then just take a moment just to ground on your standing foot and do a little bit of proprioceptive balance. And we can always go back to that first foot and just see, this side might be a little bit better in balance. It might be a little bit more challenging, as we always have one side that we have to work a little bit harder. Good. And so if you choose to roll on the two balls together, it's quite nice because how they're situated inside, so they're just tennis balls that I tape together. I like the two balls because I get a lot of tension in through my inner arch and then through the outer side of the foot. So it's quite nice because of how the balls are. You get a really nice release. Okay? And so you were talking about a little tension, especially kind of coming up and wrapping around the outer ankle. Yeah. So we're going to do some myofascial release of the lower leg today. Yeah. Shins and calves today. What's that? Were you? Yeah, so you were getting it on the in, oh no, yours was on the bottom or the top of the foot. I can't remember. Was it? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I was thinking, starting from the base up of doing some release today. And so feel free to switch back. I've already kind of my body goes, go back to your first foot. So I went back to my first, but you just listen to your body. And then if you do have the two balls, you can see how there's a center kind of point. You can stick the outer foot, the outer heel right in there and then roll in between, which gives a different flavor, right? Yeah, doesn't it? Yeah. And so the two balls are kind of nice. And so I'm just showing you a little bit of a different variation if you haven't used them. And then you can roll, so I just put my inner arch on whichever ball is on the inside and then allow that one ball to roll. This is where I get a lot of tension is in through there. I get a lot of holding. And so just different because we haven't used the two balls much. Yeah. And so I wanted to kind of show you how you can use them in foot rolling. And I'm going to start bringing them more often. I think I'm going to clean out some space and just leave them at the studio so I don't have to bring them back and forth. Remember, you can do a little bit of compression as well, and you can hold the compression or you can release and then compress again and release. And so we'll just take a little bit more time because bodies are saying, hey, I want to be here a little bit longer. as our feet are the foundation of our whole structure. Yeah, good. Yeah, I know, finding some new spots, right? Yeah, you just stay there. That's the thing is when you find something, it's like, oh, I'm just gonna hang out here. And it was really nice over the holidays. I was my one of my things was to myself was just to get on my mat every day. So I think there's only like a couple days I didn't, but like I'm like, okay, this is my job. So this is also for me. And so I just got on my mat every day and just explored, practice. Did a lot of myofascial release and different things like that. And it's just always really fun to play and explore when I'm not having to articulate. I can just be really quiet. And then I come up with some new things, which is always really good. Hmm. So no rush, just take your time to feel that. Hmm. That's kind of getting nice into your outer foot there, hey, Jody? That one, yeah, it's getting something on the outside for you. Yeah. And so you can feel, yeah, the ball, and then you can also drop right into the center of it and get right in, yeah, in between the balls. So then the balls kind of wrap around the foot. Yeah, and you can feel a little bit different with that one, right? Yeah, so you can feel it drops in, and then the two balls are kind of myofascially releasing on the front end. Yeah, I knew there was something in there for you. Yeah, just adjusting where the foot placement is a tiny bit, right? Yeah, just take your time. How's that one working for you, Donna? Do you like that one? Yeah, I've got them here. If you want one, I can just send you the ones that I made. Yeah, no worries. I always I make a whole bunch of them. If you want a specific color, I have rainbow and black right now. Those are my two color choices. All the colors or just black? Okay. So in the next in a bit, just take a moment to put the ball off to the side, your dowels, whatever you got on your mat, just so we don't have any tripping hazards. Yeah, so we'll just move all of your stuff, the dowel and stuff off your mat. There we go. Good, because we're going to start to move a little bit. I want to start with a little bit of lateral stretch. So just to kind of go in with that fascia kind of flow. So we're going to take one hand. So let's just do left, grabbing right. And we're going to inhale. We're going to bring the arm up. And then you're going to gently pull on your right arm and just feel that lengthening. And then we're going to go down and then maybe go back up and open. So you're just kind of flowing through one side and then down. You might exhale as you come down and then inhale as you open. Just feel that one lateral continuous chain of muscles and fascia. You might even go back a little bit, little extension. And then when you're ready, you can switch. And as you come hang forward, you can take right hand to hold left wrist, tug. And then you can come in and do your other side. So just start slow. You might notice, oh, there's a little bit more holding. Sometimes the body just wants to hang out there and you find a spot and you just breathe, and then maybe the movements are a little bit tiny. Maybe your body says, oh, let's tug a little bit more. Ah, okay, the other option is you can have hands, back of the hands coming to touch or interlace fingers. Either one works. Okay, and then you're going to come and then you're just going to place it behind the head. So just want to open the chest. Okay, so just let the elbows open up. And then I want you to reach through the triceps and the elbows to the sides of the room, but also into the corners of the room. And then relax your shoulders. And then gently press your hands and your head equally into each other. Yeah, I'm just going to breathe here for a moment. Let a breath out your mouth. Let's do that one more time. Okay, we're going to go into a little flow here. So we're going to exhale. We're going to let the inner elbows come towards the skull. You're going to gently round down. Right? And you're going to inhale and go into an extension. Open the front of the chest, open the arms. So you might even bring the whole pelvis into this. So sit bones might reach down, lower back might round, middle back, upper back, head. And then you start to lift pubic bone, lower belly, upper belly, chest, throat, gaze. Yeah, keep going. Sit bones, lower back, middle back, upper back, neck, head round. And then you lift from pubic bone, lower belly, upper belly, heart, throat. You do as many times as you want. Just doing a little flexion and extension flow. Sometimes when you're here, you might even feel, oh, it just feels really good. And you just want to go back into a little stretch again. So just take a moment. When it's done, you're going to release. No rush. Good. And just take a moment. See how you feel. Let's do a few swinging twists just to go into our axle rotation. Yeah. Just letting that release now. We're just letting that transfer, flexion, and extension just move through the body. And maybe the arms come up and we do a little bit of tapping. Yeah. Good. Ah, good. Let's slow that down. Okay, we're going to go into a forward fold now. I'm just going to turn sideways, but you can stay as you are on your mat. Just check in. Do your feet want to be hip width? Sometimes a little bit closer, sometimes a little bit wider. It just depends what feels most stable for you. Okay, you can even place the hands on your hips and just even find the hip crease. You can even just feel your hands just gently touching into the hip crease. And as you inhale, you exhale, and I just want you to gently push your hands, your fingers into your hip crease and let that guide your pelvis back. You'll feel a little bit more weight coming into your heels, but don't lose your toes. Okay, and just find that right angle, release the arms, anchor a little bit more weight into the toes so you feel balanced over feet and toes as you're in the right angle. Shake your arms out, wiggle your fingers, and then just start to sway and swing and circle the arms. Take an exhale, feel an SH breath as you exhale, feel the front ribs gathering together. And you feel the belly pulling in towards the spine and lifting up. A little energy out through the head and back through the sit bones. Sit bones are nice and wide here too. Good. And then if you choose, you might just stay part way and just bend your knees, forearms on the thigh. Those of you that want to go farther, you're going to feel your sit bones start to reach up. So pelvis leads you into a deeper forward fold. You can let go. Some of you will just dangle your arms. Some of you will touch the floor. Some of you can hold right hand to left elbow, left hand to right. Do a little nodding of the head just to check in. Have I fully let it go? You might sway a little bit from left to right here. Yeah, there you go. Good, Donna. No rush. We're going to take a chair pose to equalize blood pressure. So we're going to bend the knees, sit the pelvis down. So feel your legs engage. Hands can be on the thighs if you choose, just lifting torso up a little bit. See how that feels. Bring the arms up. Good, soften shoulders, wiggle fingers. Press your toes into the floor. Root your heels down into the floor. See how that engages up through your legs. 2 more breaths. And then you're going to press down and come up. Ooh, and let it go. Shake it, arms and legs. Maybe even a little kind of hop, shake, shimmy, whatever you need. Sometimes a little swingy twist come back in. Good. I'm saying hello to body. Yeah. Just take a moment to feel that release and just stand again, finding your mountain pose. So just using this as like a little touchstone throughout our practice. Arms can be down, palms can be forward. Let your gaze be straight ahead. Feel your breath. Notice if you can soften the knees a little bit. Press your toes into the floor, all of them, both feet, your heels. Feel your breath. Just this mindful attention of being right here in body and breath and mind. And we're going to go from here into a few shoulder rolls. So we're going to inhale, draw the shoulders all the way up to the ears, roll them back. You're going to feel your shoulder blades squeeze as you bend the knees. And this is a good exhale at the mouth if you choose. Inhale, draw them up, roll them back, exhale down. Yeah, we're going to do that a couple more times. Inhale and exhale. And just let this become your own. We're all going to look very different in this pose. So we just meet our own body, switch directions when you're ready. If you're following me, you're going back, up, inhale, exhale down. Hmm. Ah, nice. And then you might even find, oh, I just want to draw the shoulders up. Love this tension. So you just create some tension. And then you exhale, drop, and you release. So do that a couple times. This time, I want you to press your feet into the floor as you lift the shoulders up. Squeeze, hold it, let the breath hold, and then exhale and drop. Good. You're going to do a couple more at your own timing. Flow with your breath. Inhale, hold, and then drop when you're ready. One more. And let's do a compression as we bring it up, and then a pursed lip breath as we slowly lower the shoulders. So how slow can you lower them as you blow the breath out your mouth through those pursed lips, lengthening the exhale. Do that again. Your timing, inhale, pursing the lips, blowing it out the mouth as you slowly lower the shoulders, feeling any tension, anything that no longer wants to be carried, letting it go. Good, we're going to do a little neck movement. So thinking of nose, just drawing a little circle as you look straight ahead. And just feel, am I going through a full circle? Doesn't have to be very big to switch direction. Just articulating the first and second vertebra in the neck. Okay, then you're going to pause. And then I want you to think of, and we're going to touch just to get into the awareness. You're going to take your hand on your head and you're going to bring it up. You're going to feel the kind of little knobby part of your head. So it's just in front of your little swirl. And then you're going to press down into that knobby, reach up into your fingers. Okay, and then release that, let the hand go. And then you're just going to circle through that little knobby part of the head and draw a little circle on the ceiling. Now we're kind of getting through the whole neck into the transference of the thoracic spine. And when you're ready, you go the other way. And we're going to do a little release of the back of the neck. So you're going to take the palm of your hand. And when we do this, you want to make sure when we do the compression that you release the compression equally before you kind of move the head. So you can take the palm of the hand and put it on your forehead. Yeah, good. Now you're going to press your forehead into the hand and the hand into the forehead. Good. And just breathe as you hold that. And just notice what you feel happening in the neck for you. Just gonna hold it for another 2 to 3 more breaths. Okay, then you're going to slowly start to release the pressure and then release your hand. Good. And now we're going to do it to the right side, so right hand. So you're going to go above your ear in the temporal bones. You can kind of feel it. You're about, it's like maybe even just like a centimeter above the side of the skull. And then you're going to very gently press your hand and your skull into each other. So we're just now isolating right side of neck. See if it helps to reach up through that little point on the top of your skull. Breathe. And then slowly start to soften the equal leaning. And then you release your hand. Okay, notice if you need a little movement in between. We're going to end on left side. So I just wanted to bring some neck stuff in today. So you're coming on the other side. So really kind of here. I'm going to lower yours down a tiny bit, Donna. There it is. Feel the temporal part of your bone. Yeah, you can feel that temporal part. And then you're really feeling that leaning equally. Ah, there it is. Yeah, so it's your temporal bone. Flows into your masseter muscles in your jaw. So some of us might feel a little release in your jaw. You can open and close your mouth a little bit if you want. You can wiggle your lower jaw from left to right. Maybe open and close again, and then slowly lower. Release the pressure first before you lower. Okay, and just take a moment. Because sometimes with that release, I find I get a lot of tension in my head. So you just want to ground. Feel your feet. Beautiful. Excellent. We're going to do a little work now at the wall. So you're going to find wall. We have lots of wall space. So we've got 2 spots up here. So Catherine, if you do want to come up, and do you have an inflated one? If you don't, so that's a semi-inflated one, but they're in the black bag. And so there's lots of space kind of moving around. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. You're gonna find your inflated ball. Yeah, and you might, Jody, just move your blocks in your water bottle just out of the way. Like you can move them away from the wall, just so it gives you more space and it doesn't confine you to a tiny little spot. Yeah, because you're gonna want that space. And Shannis, do you want to come up here with us? Yeah, I know. Okay, great. Just so you know, you're on video. Okay. 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 So you're gonna put the ball. I always kind of like to start middle back. So it can be in between shoulder blades, it can be a little bit lower. Okay, and just walk your feet away. So you just get a little awareness of, okay, there's the pressure against the wall. Yeah. And Catherine, if you find that your mat is in the way, you can always move it. And socks sometimes might be a little slippery here. So just take note. Okay. And if your mat is quite sticky, you might want to pull it back so you can press on it. Okay. So we're just going to go up and down. So just want to do some box chair squats. So I want you to walk your feet out far enough that you get into a nice angle with the thighs and the knees. And we're just going to go up and down just to activate the legs a little bit. Yeah, and you might even go a little bit lower. There you go. And how low you go is totally up to you. We're just going to feel our legs. Nice. There we go. Yeah, there it is. And you might even find that you hover here for a moment. Just going to adjust. Any of us with longer hair, the slow-mo ball does love to and give a little tug on it. Okay, and then you can start to adjust. So you might feel, okay, my shoulder blades feeling a little kind of held. So you can just pause. And so what I'm doing is I'm going across. So it's a technique called cross fiberings because all of our muscles, a lot of the time they get tight in the back, but they're in a long tightened state instead of a short tightened state. So when they are that, when we go across them, it really helps to release them because it moves them in a way that they don't normally move. Yay, sunshine, praise the time. Okay, and you can lower the ball. For me, my lower back is feeling like it wants a little bit of love. So I'm going and doing some cross fibering in my lower back, but you listen to yourself because really, whatever feels good. Yeah, nice. Uh-huh. You might even take a note going, ah, for me, I can feel I want to go into, so I've got the ball right in the thoracolumbar fascia and rolling around to the side. Some of you might even go in the hips or go up high to get into the upper thoracic. So you choose. There's lots of different variations here. Mm. Mom, see if when you're doing that, you can keep your head up. Yeah, and keep you more in alignment rather than being in the pattern that you go in, keeping you taller. Yeah. I always, every time we do this and I look around and I see us all, I'm like, who knew that rolling against the wall could be so fun? It feels so good. So at any time, you might feel, because this is just kind of priming the body, and the slow-mo balls have kind of a structure to them where they kind of grip the fascia and pull it. And you might find, you know what, this is working really well for me. This softness, this soft approach, this easefulness is what my body and the nervous system needs. So you stay with the inflated slow-mo ball. But I also want to bring in, and you do not have to use the two balls, but you can. So you can go deeper, okay? And maybe you use one ball. Um, I prefer the rubber. I suggest the rubber rather than the spiky, but it is totally up to you. But you can also use the two balls that are taped together. So this spot here, if you do want to release the muscles up and down on either side of the spine goes here. But you can also take the two balls and bring them to one side, which I really love to do because, especially lower back. So, one of the muscles that was calling out a little bit today was our friend. Some of us know Tina and I are locking eyes because we both have one side that's always speaking to us is the quadratus laborum. And some of us, sometimes you'll hear us teachers saying the QL because it's just really easy to say. And it attaches onto the top of your hip and it anchors your lower rib cage. Okay, it's a vertical muscle. So you can put the ball to the right or the left and then roll against it. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, this way. Yeah. Yeah. And so that's nice because you get a double, right? And then you can get kind of the full length of it. Yeah. And so it might just you meet because it's a little bit more. Yeah. You might just meet and just take some. This is a really good time to exhale at the mouth. Oh. Yeah. If you notice you start like clenching in body, then just back off a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. You don't think until you start rolling it. Hmm. I know my one side gets really tight and it grips right along the ridge of the iliac crest, and sometimes I'll just put the ball just right like above the ridge of the hip, so where I have it is right here, so here's my ridge, and I'll just lean into it and I don't even move. I just kind of like rest there for a moment. So what we're doing is we're kind of combing the fascia, and then Catherine, you sorry, Candace, you were saying, oh, which way? And then you can also, if you want, turn right? So then that would be cross fibering across it. So this way, most of our back muscles, right, are vertical. So when we do this, we're combing up and down the fascia. But if you turn the ball and you go across, and what is called, it's called a cross fibering. So what you're doing is you're kind of tugging the muscles in the fascia in an abnormal way that they normally go. And so that might be the ticket for you. Your body might go, yeah, like that. Yeah, good. And you might feel, oh, hip. Okay, so I always like to say this is a time when you meet yourself with softness and then you let the pressure grow. So just remember, you're not going in really deep and strong right away. We're just meeting ourselves with this kindness. Good. That's looking good. Yeah. That's where you've got it is really nice. That's that spot that we keep trying to release for you. Yeah. It feels better, right? And sometimes I know that this is always after you do this, you always say, wow, my back doesn't hurt so much anymore. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Where are you? In the, oh, yeah. I had found one spot on my left side that was really tight. Yeah. Hmm. That's a good spot there, Catherine. That when your body's going, yay, that feels amazing. Good. And so you do have, I gave you two. Okay, I'll grab them again for you. You don't think you want to go deeper? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And you can always go higher though, right? Yeah. In upper shoulders. So I'll put it there because we are going to use it again. Mhm. Yeah, yeah, no worries. So is the SI on right? I was going to say it felt it was right when I asked your body. It was like it's over here. Okay, I was right. Okay, has it been speaking to you quite a bit? Okay. Okay. So maybe we need to do some SI joint release too. Okay, so we got about a couple more minutes left just to feel. Yeah. Yeah, and so you can move right between it. Yeah, because this one gets it bigger. Pink ball is like really directive, right? Yeah, good. How's that feeling in body? Yeah, it's nice, right? You feel it in the shoulders. Yeah. And immune system and fascia, right? All interconnected. So when the fascia gets really held, the system can't flow and process properly. Yeah. Yeah, so you can feel a little bit of a release. So if you want, you can always even just feel where you're feeling the burning. Just rub because your scalp is also fascia. So you can just even just give the scalp, like when you go to, and you get like I have one of those things that it's like those metal things that go on your head and then you pull it. I know you pull them up and down. And it's like, right? But if you just massage your head too, it might release the energy out so it doesn't get condensed, right? And stuck. Yeah. In because you've got like a suture where the two skull points come together on the top of the head. Yeah. How are you feeling, Catherine? Good. Getting into some stuff. Yeah. Lower back and hip, right? Yeah. Okay. Good. Good, good, good. Okay. Okay, so I always am amazed when I look at the time. We have been 45 minutes of our class here. So we do need to transition because I do want to do some stuff on the floor. Um, but yeah, hopefully you feel a little bit better in body. Yeah. You're not through. Tennis is like, I'm not done. I'm not moving, Michelle. Well, good news is you you do have probably your ball and stuff at home. Yeah, I know, right? Well, and it's so fun to look around when you're in community and you're like rolling out and you're like, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna find the top of our mat. We're gonna do a little flow to take us to the floor, and we're gonna do a little bit more release on the floor. So once again, we've been pausing in Tadasana. Wow. This time we're gonna bring the arms up. Just want you to touch palm to palm, thumb on the sternum. Relax the shoulders. Feel your toes and your heels, soft bend to the knees. Press your feet into the floor. Feel little reaching up through the ears and the top of the skull as you drop your shoulders down. Just let the breath flow. It might be in and out of the nose or in the nose and out the mouth. And just do a little check in again. How are you feeling? How has your body transitioned through this exploration? And we know with the fascia that the fascia is the mediator between all of the systems of our body. So we might feel a little bit more regulated through our digestion or the muscles or the immune system or the lymphatic system, nervous system. There's so many that pass through the fascia. We're doing a whole body nourishing with that sequence. We're going to exhale the arms down beside our legs. Maybe you bend the knees a little bit, press into the feet. Inhale, reach the arms up. Gaze may follow or not. Exhale. Remember, we used our hands, but this time we're not going to, but we're going to think our hands are in that hip crease and moving our pelvis back. So we're moving from the power of the pelvis. You can come halfway down, all the way down into your forward fold. Anchor your weight once you're in your pose between toes and heels. The weight shifts on the feet to get you down there, but once you're down there, you should feel that you're not overloading the heels. You want to feel your toes. Hmm. Okay, we're going to bend our knees. Place the hands onto our mat. They can be in front of the feet, nice and wide width of the mat. You step back, big step through one foot, the other foot. Hang out into downward dog. Palms are flat now. And you can bend your knees. Oh, good. Just watching your transition there, Mom. There we go. So knees can be bent as you come back, and then you can walk the legs out by straightening one leg, bending the other heel. And anytime if you're not enjoying this, you can come down into child's pose. So I'll just demonstrate that by coming down onto hands and knees. Okay, and then you might choose, oh, my body just wants to come down halfway, maybe all the way. Some of you may keep arms forward or bring them back, which is a nice variation of child's pose. The other one that we tend to do is off to the side. But those of you that want to hang out in downward dog, you just stay there. It's your practice. Nice. While you're in child's pose, you might even roll across the forehead. So just feel that you roll across the whole forehead, just releasing any tension through the forehead. Hey, other option here, and I like to always bring a little bit more support here that since we were talking a little bit of coming into the skull, you might just come up slightly and maybe, and you might not even need this, but maybe you just roll over your mat about a foot to a foot and a half. And then you have your hands in front of the knees, about a half a foot. You can tuck your toes under. And then as you place your forehead on the mat, you can inhale here. And then as you exhale, you can slowly roll to the hairline. And some of you might just roll back towards the eyebrows. That's your inhale. And then exhale towards the hairline. Some of you might even come up right onto the top of the head. Okay, so just releasing the scalp fascia. And then rolling back as you inhale towards the forehead. So you decide, you might just roll back and forth over the forehead or onto the top of the head. So you choose. So we're just wanting to bring that fascia scalp release all the way up to the skull. This is really strengthening for the neck as well. If you hang here, just on the top of the head. You're going to strengthen your vertebra in the neck, the muscles around the neck. And when you're ready to come out, you can notice how you feel. We're going to come up either onto hands and knees or elbows and knees. You choose hands under shoulders or elbows, depending on if your wrists are feeling sensitive today. Knees under hips. You can have top of the feet down. You can tuck your toes under. We're just going to go into a few more spinal ways. We did them standing, but we're going to do them on hands and knees. So sit bones reach down, lower back rounds up, middle back, neck and head release. And then on your inhale, you lift your sit bones, the lower back arches, the shoulder blades squeeze together. Very soft gaze forward, not too far. Okay, and then you start with your exhale. The pelvis starts by reaching down, rounding up. And then inhale. Just seeing if you can feel each vertebra opening from the pelvis through the back to the neck and the head. But you always start in the pelvis. I want to do a tiny bit of strength here. So your option is you can be on hands and go into plank. Those of you that want to do forearms, remember if you do forearm plank, you just want to check the distance, right? It's this very soft fist, so your forearms are on the floor, and you should be able to just brush your knuckles on the inside of your elbows. That gives you your distance. And then you just do a very soft interlace through fingers. So you don't have to be really heavily interlaced. I'm just going to move forward. Okay. If you're doing hands, you're being here right underneath the shoulders. So some of you may tuck the toes under and just extend one leg. So if you're on forearms, you're here and you're just going to rock. So you're going to push off the foot, the toes, just getting into the transverse arch. If you're on forearms, elbows, inner, outer elbow, forearm, whole side is pressing down. If not hands, all of your fingers, thumbs, heel side of the hand. Okay, and then you're going to bring that leg back and then extend left leg and do the same thing. Just do a little flow here. We're just releasing through the back line of the leg. We're preparing the lower leg here for our fascia release. Okay, and then you can decide, do I want to redo that again? Just do one leg at a time. You can go back. Those of you that decide, oh, I just want to extend my other leg, lower my pelvis down. Pause and plank for a moment. So I'm on my forearms, but you can be on your hands. Good. Okay, so you can pause and come down and rest for a moment. Option here is if you want to do that one more time, you can do the exact same thing, or you can go into a flow. So if you're in plank, you'll be here. And then you think of the pelvis lifting you up. So you reach the pelvis up and you go into downward dog. Okay, and then you flatten down. Okay, so you can go back and forth. If you're on forearms, you go into what is called dolphin. So you're going to go dolphin. And you might need to step the feet back a little bit and step them forward. Mhm. Good. Then you might even feel, if you're on hands, as you come down, you can drop to the knees. Some of you may even start with pelvis wanting to come forward. And maybe you come up and just go into a little upper dog. So your choice here. You can go back, plank, downward dog, feeling plank. Some of you may drop your knees or keep your knees hovered. I like to drop my knees and just widen the sit bones. Good. Just take your time here. Rest in child's pose when you're ready. Mhm. As you're in child's pose, arms might be forward, arms might be back. We're just going to do a little open and closing of the hands. We did a lot of work on the wrists, so just want to release them. Might do wrist circles. I'm just going to take one more breath there, and then we're going to sit up. And you're going to roll off to one hip and come off to the side. And you can grab ball, you can have your pink ball, your spiky ball. You might even have your dowel, just wanting to start with the hands. So if you have your ball, you might just roll it in between the hands. So black ball is also really good. Pink ball is really good. So you have your squash ball. Some of you may even feel, oh, I really like the dowel to release through. So you just take your time, okay, to roll. We're just going to let the hand and the fascia go. I'm just going to go into the dowel because my body's wanting to go into the forearms, but you can also use the ball. Take this leg out of it so you can see. And it's quite nice because the tape, you can have even that outer, it's your ulna bone dropping in there. You can have palm down, palm up. It's just going to take some time to release the forearms and the hands because we worked them quite a bit today. Ah, nice. Feel the breath. Remember to have your palm turned down and roll. It's going to get the flexor muscles on the underside of the arm, and then have the palm turn up and roll, which are your extensor muscles. So those of us that use our hands in various ways will notice one side might be a little bit tighter than the other, and it will flow all the way up into the shoulders. Good. Hmm. Okay. Good. Now, one thing, notice when you're rolling, sometimes we roll when we're doing this, right? So, which is called a hyperextension of the wrist. So, see if you can just relax it and roll. So, what you're doing is here you're going into a tightness to roll. So, just see if can find neutral rest. Sometimes I just kind of let my hand go. Okay, relax as much as you can. So, just let it kind of flop. And sometimes it will touch the floor. Sometimes it will just hover. Good. Okay, so just feeling that complete and then wanting to go into the lower leg. So hopefully you switched arms. Not too sure. Did you switch arms? No, Candace didn't, but everyone else did. Okay. So Candace, I'm going to let you kind of go through. Yeah, you'll be there. Okay. So if we're going to start leg. So I want you to have your lower leg. It's going to be a little bit bent here. And you want to put the ball just on the underside. So we're going lateral line. So we're going to start lateral line on the shin. So it can be anywhere from the ankle to above. And then this leg can do whatever it wants. For me, it wants to tuck in, but you might find that you want to keep it extended. You might even find that you want to lean down. So you're just going to let yourself roll over the ball. Yeah. So you're just kind of reach. Yes, I know this lateral line gets really tight for a lot of us, especially if you're an outer heel anchor when you walk. And you'll know that by if you look at your shoes, where you wear out your shoes. I always wear them out on the outer edge of my heel. So I always know my outer part of my shin is going to be tight. And so if you want any more pressure, all you have to do is put your hand on your leg and you just very gently press down. Yeah. And then you might find a little spot where, oh my, you feel a little adhesion, which is a stuckness in the fascia. Try not to hold your breath. You can move it up the leg as well. Yeah, there you go. And mom's already in her calf. I love it. Okay, then you are going to move into the calf. So you can go right into the Achilles. And I love the ball because it does such a good job at getting right into the Achilles, right? So you might find, oh, okay, so you can just start with Achilles and then start to roll up into the calf. Now, there might be some spots here that are really tender for you. Yeah, not so much the belly of the calf. Yeah. Okay. And remember, you can do the whole thing inside as well. So if you're not feeling too much there, then you can go onto the inner shin. Yeah, and I was thinking that that might be the spot for you that comes in. Yeah, and so you kind of notice where is it and where sometimes this tells us how we walk in our gait through the world, or when we stand, we did so much pausing in mountain today. I made you kind of like go into it multiple times to see how it shifted. And every time you went into it, you might notice, oh, I always do this. And then I always have to, when I give you a suggestion of bringing you back into center, you always have to take that suggestion. So that kind of shows you whatever it was that you out into the world. So anytime you're standing in line at the bank or you're washing dishes or you're cooking or you're waiting, you can pause and go, oh, let's practice my Tadasana, right? How am I moving through the world? Yeah, so you're just asking body to check in with how you normally go throughout the world and then just see, is that the best thing for you right now? You have a red dot on your heel, Sheenus. Did you notice that? I was like, okay, is that what it was? I was like, why do you have, it's great, but I was like, why do you have a red dot on your heel? From it, yeah, we had a beet salad last night and they were really intense. So before you switch sides, oh yes, okay, yes, yes, yes. Sorry, my intuition's like yelling at me. You didn't do fetishing. Yes, I know. Okay, so you've only done one leg. So you want to put the ball shin bone, okay? And so you're gonna come down onto it. So you can start, you want to start a little bit forward. Yeah, my body's saying, don't be at the back of your mat, Michelle. Okay. Um, and then you're going to roll from the knee all the way down. So you might go, oh, okay, I need to move that ball down a little bit, start more at my ankle. And then I like to, as you get into a rhythm, you can feel this whole extension. See how I'm extending back to the top of the knee? Yeah, there we go. So some of us don't realize how much, yeah, you're still getting cramping. Yeah, 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 yeah. Body is going, what is happening, Candace? So just breathe through it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. And it might just take some time to release from it. Okay. So you can do that as many times as you want. And then you're just going to pause. Okay. And I want you to do this lying down because I think it's the best way. And you're just going to lie down for a moment. I'm just going to create some space for myself. So if you've got props around you, create some space. And your arms can be however you want. My body's just wanting to take up some space today, but you take as much space as you want. And then I just want you to notice the side that you rolled in the lower leg. So for me, that was my left, but you might be your right. And just let your awareness just transfer through that side of your body. Breathe. Maybe it's out the mouth. Maybe it's a few sighs. Ah, find that relationship to earth. And just feel the space that was created on the side that you rolled in. You might even wiggle your toes. You might point the toes and then reach through the heel and going into a dorsiplantar flexure of the ankle. You might do some ankle circles. Just notice, is it different? Okay, and then once you're done that, I want you just to let your awareness float to the side you haven't rolled. Okay, just feel it. Feel your ankle, feel your foot. You might even move it around a little bit and notice, oh, where do I feel? Is a little holding. And then you're going to roll over to the side and we're going to do it again on the other side. So just know you're going to get to go back to that. And when you go back to that lying down position, it will be Shavasana. So I will not ask you to get up again, just so you know. Yeah. So you might go, okay, I'm going to start. Okay. Options here. I just did the sequence where I started outer leg because I do find the outer kind of a nice way to start, lateral line. But you can start back at the calf if you want. And you might notice, hey, one leg might feel a little bit different. Maybe you don't hold as much. Maybe this is a side where you do hold a little bit more. Remember, you should be able to breathe the whole time. Okay, so try not to hold the breath. Sometimes when you hold breath, you're holding in a little bit of a tension in body. So just let things flow through you. So as you find things releasing, it might be a deep sigh. Sometimes I notice a little bit of sound comes through. Yeah, mom's on her back. You okay, mom? Yeah, okay. I can hear people over there. I just wanted to check in. Yeah. So growing up, mom had a lot of surgeries on her leg which was crazy. Yeah, they pulled out varicose veins in her leg. So she's got a lot of lower leg pain. So you're gonna hear it a little bit more through her um in the fascial restriction. Yeah, I know they do that, don't they? Okay, and then you can feel back of the calf, inside of the leg. And so as you kind of play here, you notice, I can kind of position the body. Whew. So yeah, just feeling, and this might help going up into your SI joint a little bit. Yeah, it might, right? Yeah. And so you might even notice like maybe some of that stuckness is going up into the hip and creating like it can be pulling down, right, on the pelvis. Yeah, yeah, good. Yeah, yeah. So because we had a full moon, right, on the weekend, it was like super moon. I'm still feeling the effects of that one. I was like, we need to just do a class where we focus a lot on our fascia this week. So good. So, we didn't do a lot of flow of asana, but we're kind of flowing in a different way. Okay, so you'll know, okay, what you need to do. Some of you can even roll through the shins as Tina's doing with your hand, using the ball if being right on the shin is not on hands and knees is not working for you. You can always modify it. Okay, you're timing whenever you're done. You're just gonna lie down again. There's no rush in that. Okay, just take a moment to feel your body, and then you can ask yourself, is there any last movements that I need? So maybe we need a layer before you go down. Mm. You might have a little wipering movement. You might just be in stillness. Let the breath out the mouth a couple times. There's no rush to get here. You're still rolling, just let it have that space. And you might just feel where you are is where you want to be. So you just stop here and you hang here. And some of you may feel, oh, I want to put a bolster underneath the body. So a couple options that are coming in is you might sense that you want to put the bolster maybe underneath the pelvis and just have your knees bent and just feel that little release that comes in to the arms and the shoulders. Options, arms out to the side. You can bring them into a T. You can even reach the arms up so you create kind of a W if you include your head, or you can be in a cactus arm or a diamond. Okay, so this is an option. This will help spread the lower back and the sacrum as well. Other option too is just to let the legs levitate and just let the blood flow in opposition and let all of that flushing that we did through the fascia, the hydration. You might feel a little bit of point and flex of your feet in the air or circle or do it on the floor. So I'm really just giving you option. This is for you to just listen to your body and notice, what do I need? Good. Take your time to be here. If legs are up in the air and you're feeling, okay, I don't want to stay there the whole time in Shavasana, then you might lower the feet onto the floor. And then maybe you decide to press the feet into the floor and lift your hips up and remove that bolster. And some of you may even feel, okay, I want to put the bolster under my thighs and my knees. And so you're in an extended position. And some of you might feel, oh, it feels better in my lower back to have the knees bent and the bolster kind of resting underneath the back of the knee. But once you settle into the final place of resting, yeah, good. Yeah, how does that feel, Donna? It's a nice release through here. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good release right there. Perfect. I'm just going to walk through and just turning down the lights, the studio. So just make sure once you've settled into your pose of resting, you've taken a few breaths out the mouth. Oh, you can hear me walking back to my mat. See, can you make yourself just a little bit more comfortable? It might mean taking the arms out away from the body, creating some more space. You might even feel the back of the hands want to rotate to meet the floor. So palms are facing towards the ceiling, which offers a little opening through the chest. Notice what you felt like when we started the beginning of practice and we just met ourselves here in body, breath. There was awareness of arrival. And now we've come full circle where now we're in this place of integration. So we're once again meeting ourselves at the end of the practice. And you might feel, oh, what's shifted? Maybe there's a little bit more flow or a balance of energy. Sometimes you feel different temperature changes. Sometimes there's a little bit more warmth or a little bit more coolness. See when you Feel another few breaths, maybe just out the nose or out the mouth. If you can just surrender a part of your body that you still feel slightly holding. Maybe let out a sigh. Ah. Really allow the earth to come up and softly hold you here in your wholeness, in your beautiful glory of your whole body, mind, and spirit. And there's a piece that came today that I'm going to read to you, and it's called Evolve or Remain. It's kind of a spiritual, intentional awareness of starting this new year. So sometimes we create intentions for body, but sometimes it's nice to create a spiritual intention of evolving from where we are. You're being presented with a choice: evolve or remain. If you choose to remain unchanged, you will be presented with the same challenges, the same routine, and the same storms, the same situations until you learn from them, until you love yourself enough to say no more, until you choose change. If you choose to evolve, you will connect with the strength within you. If you choose to evolve, you will connect with the strength within you. You will explore what lies outside of your comfort zone. You will awaken to love. You will become. You will be. You have everything you need. Choose to evolve. Choose to love. I'm going to take a couple more minutes in silence. Softly hear the sound of my voice just trickling into your awareness. Just notice these sweet moments right before you awaken, where your awareness slowly starts to come back into the moment. You feel your body here, your feet through your legs to your pelvis, your lower back, all the way through your torso, your heart, your arms, your neck, and your head. So you feel your whole body integrated. And as you start to meet yourself in this full integration of who you are, you can start to wiggle the fingers and the toes a little bit. Take your time. And that will move into the arms and the legs. Some of you might want to do deeper movements, stretching, yawning, whatever it is that you need to deepen that proprioceptive awareness of coming back into body. When you're ready, you'll notice, is there any support that I no longer need before you roll over onto the side? So you just choose one side. And you might pause and transition for a moment. And then feeling the top arm, top hand press into the floor, and you can come up and sit. So you sit however you want. Sometimes it's kneeling, sometimes it's cross-legged. I'm just doing a little hip release, but you sit whatever resonates with you. I've got a little bolster underneath me for some support, but you can be on the floor. Arms are out to the side, palms face forward. Just let the fingers release as if you're kind of dripping liquid off the fingers. Unfurl them. Take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale out the mouth. Press the pelvis into the floor as you inhale, reach the arms up. And you might feel as the arms come up overhead and the palms touch. Then you exhale and you draw a line in front of your body, in front of the face, the throat, heart, upper, lower belly, pelvis. Then as you inhale, see if you want to gather anything up. It might just be awareness, might be love, might be reveling in this spaciousness as you exhale and receive it. Ah, you can do that one more time. So 3 in total. And on your third pass, as your hands touch, just exhale and just let your hands pause at your heart. So your thumbs may even touch around the sternum. And just feel your breath here. Relax the shoulders. Head may even bow for a moment to the heart. And she's inviting in as a community, feeling the weaving of all of our energies, how they intertwine through practice and how we're supporting one another. Letting your breath be your presence as you lift the head up and open the eye. May you walk easily through the rest of your day. Good to see you all and start our year off together.